Have you ever had that feeling where you're just working harder and harder, but you feel like you're not really getting ahead financially? Well, today we're going to look at a super simple but really powerful map that might just flip the way you think about money. It's Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow Quadrant, and it breaks down the only 4 ways that people can earn an income.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with a question that might sting a little. You've heard the advice a million times, right? Go to school, get a good, secure job, and you'll be set for life. I mean, for our parents' generation, that was pretty much the golden ticket. But is that still true today? Or could that old advice actually be a trap?
Here's the thing. The rulebook for money, it's been completely rewritten. That old path of, being loyal to a company and getting that steady paycheck, well, it just doesn't lead to the same destination anymore. That guaranteed financial security, it's not so guaranteed.
In fact, following that old, outdated advice often leads people right into this cycle that probably feels frustratingly familiar to a lot of us. And it has a name. It's called the rat race.
You know what I'm talking about. It's that frustrating loop of working harder and harder just to stay in the same place. You get your paycheck, you pay your taxes, your mortgage, your credit card bills, and poof, it's gone. And you're just waiting for the next one. You're running on the wheel, but you're not actually going anywhere.
So, if the old map is broken, how do we find a new path? Well, to escape that rat race, you first have to understand the new territory. And this is where the Cashflow Quadrant comes in. It's a really simple but brilliant framework from Robert Kiyosaki that shows us exactly how money is made. And here it is. It looks really simple. Almost too simple, right? The quadrant is just divided into 4 letters. E for employee, S for self-employed, B for business owner, and I for investor. According to Kiyosaki, every single dollar that you earn comes from one of these 4 places. That's it.
And this isn't just some abstract theory. I mean, think about your own life right now. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, a barista, a startup founder, or a day trader. Your income stream puts you in at least one of these boxes. Where do you see yourself on this grid?
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. You see that line down the middle? It creates 2 totally different financial paths. The left side, the E's and S's, they're driven by a core value, security. The right side, the B's and I's, they're all about freedom. And this one little difference in values leads to completely different outcomes, especially when we talk about taxes and how you make your money. So, to really get what the right side is all about, you have to understand this one word, asset. Forget all the complicated financial jargon you've heard. It's simple. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket, whether you're working or not. Think about rental income from a property or dividends from stocks. That's an asset.
And the opposite of that, a liability. It's anything that takes money out of your pocket. Now, here's the kicker for a lot of people. This includes stuff we're taught to see as assets, like the house you live in or the car you drive. If it's constantly costing you money every month, it's a liability. Simple as that.
Okay, so let's zoom in a bit on the left side of the quadrant. This is where society, our schools, and our parents have pretty much trained us to live. It's all about one thing, trading your time for money.
So the employee, the E, craves the security of that steady paycheck. The self-employed person, the S, they crave control. They want to be their own boss. But do you see the common thread here? In both cases, if they stop working, the money stops coming in. As Kiyosaki famously says, they don't own a business, they own a job.
And that idea right there brings us to probably the single most important mindset shift you can make. This quote captures it perfectly. It's the key that unlocks the whole other side of the quadrant and a totally different way of looking at how you make a living. And that's the core philosophy of the right side. The goal isn't to work harder for more money. No, the goal is to build or buy things that make money for you.
The business owner, the B, doesn't have a job. They own a system that makes money, a system that runs on other people's time. And here's the real test. They could walk away for a year, come back, and find the business is even more profitable. Then you've got the investor, the I, who takes it a step further. They use their financial knowledge to just make money with money, often using something called OPM, or other people's money. That just means leveraging other resources, like getting a bank loan to buy a rental property. It lets them acquire assets way faster.
So when you boil it all down, the whole point of being on the right side is to build up a portfolio of assets, businesses, real estate, stocks, that pay you whether you're actively working or not. You're literally making money while you sleep. And that is the path to real financial freedom. And honestly, this is more important now than ever because of one word, inflation. I love this simple definition. It says it all. If your money is just sitting in a savings account, it's actually losing its value, its purchasing power every single day. That so-called security of just earning and saving is actually a guaranteed way to lose your wealth over time.
So the big question is, how do you actually make the leap from the left side to the right? Well, it doesn't start with having a ton of money to invest. The journey begins with a fundamental shift in how you think about money, about work, about wealth, and a lot of times how you feel about risk.
So what does that shift actually look like? Well, when you study people who build real, lasting wealth, you find these three mental pillars. They have long-term vision, they're good at delaying gratification instead of needing that instant reward, and they really understand the incredible power of compounding to let their assets grow on their own. It's about trading that fear of risk for the excitement of what's possible.
Ultimately, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Every time you get paid, the question shouldn't just be, what can I buy? It should be, what asset can I acquire with this money? The moment you shift your focus from your paycheck to building your asset column, that's the first real step toward the right side of the quadrant.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Take a hard look at where your money comes from right now. Which quadrant is defining your financial life today? And maybe more importantly, looking at this map, where do you want to be tomorrow? Because the choice and that journey, it really does start right now.